Okay, now for what we have in number 23, okay, this goes back to a problem we had looked at concerning the signers of the Declaration of Independence, where the numbers were classified by the ages of those who signed the Declaration of Independence back in 1776, and we had constructed a group frequency distribution where we had, in this case, 7 classes, and we had the layout to be as such. Now it says that with the data to determine the mean as well as the modal class. Now, back in chapter 2, we had all the ages given out, and if you had looked at the mean in the context of taking every single data item and divided by the number of those who signed, okay, you had the combined ages at 2,448 years divided by 55, and we had the mean at about 44.51. Now, in terms of what the author is asking for is if you were to calculate the mean in terms of, say, if you had only the group frequency distribution to go by, as opposed to having all the key data items. But now for the answer, okay, this version of the determination of the mean, taking the sum of all the data items divided by 55, coming out to 44.51, that is an acceptable answer. But let's say that if you had just the group frequency distribution to go by and you didn't have the data to separate, like you had like for the two here, you had one signer was age 69, the other one was age 70, but if you had only the group frequency distribution go by, that too could have been referenced to, like both of them could have been 75 years of age, both could have been in their 70s, or maybe both could have been age 69. So if we go by this as our starting point for the determination of the mean, okay, first of all we have with the group frequency distribution, okay, we can form another column, and that is going to be for the class midpoints. And again, we have for there to be 7 classes. Okay, we had the youngest signer was age 27, and starting with that, okay, and with 7 classes, it turned out that the class width itself was at 7, transition from one lower class limit to the next, upper class limit to the next, and also what's going to be from class midpoint to the next. And the first class midpoint is going to be at 30, and then we have between 34 and 40 will be 30 plus 7, which is 37. Okay, then we have followed by 44, plus 7 is 51. And then we have plus 7 is going to be 58, plus 7 is 65, and then we have plus 7 is going to be the midpoint of 69 to 75, which is going to be at 72. And now for what we have in the context of forming yet another column, and this will be for taking the product, the frequency, and the corresponding midpoint. Okay, so we have for 7 times 30, okay, that would be 210. 14 times 37, okay, that is going to be at 518. 15 times 44, so we have 660. 11 times 51, okay, we have at 561. 3 times 58 is going to be 174. 3 times 65 is going to be at 195. 2 times 72 is at 144. And as we look at adding these products together, okay, it's going to follow that for the sum. Okay, that's going to be 2,462. And so in the determination of the mean, this time in the context of the group frequency distribution, again we have N at 55, since that's how many people there were who signed the Declaration of Independence. Okay, so we have, for the mean in this context, we have the quotient of 2462 over 55, and for that number, okay, that's about 44, very close to 44.8, as opposed to the literal, okay, or more literal 44.51, but we have 44.8 and we were to take this out to the second decimal place, you have 44.76. And so far as the modal class is concerned, okay, there is going to be one that stands out. In this case, this will be the one that has the highest frequency. Highest frequency we have at 15, and that belongs to the 41 to 47 group.